Greetings to the YouTube today. Here we are with another Torpid cast. Maybe not going to be quite as high skill as some of the previous games, but I have faith that it's going to be a good battle nonetheless. Who have we got on the blue team? We've got none other than Mitch. Mitch has been a very prolific player recently, though I believe, and hopefully he'll correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I believe he's been playing a lot more 3v3 than 1v1. So trust me when I say that if you find him in a 3v3 lane, he'll be a lot more mighty than any gameplay here will suggest. But I hope to see good things from a Commando Knob. He's always a sneaky git, is that Commando Knob, and his potential is nigh unlimited. His opponent is Larks. Playing as a Force Commander, Space Marines, especially on this map, which is very, very easy to defend once you take control of the center, it's going to be quite hard to dislodge these Space Marines. And yeah, kudos to Mitch if he can do it, I'll be impressed. I don't know much about Larks, I must admit, but I'm eager to see how well he'll do. I know this game's going to be a long one, so hopefully we'll get some glorious slaughter. As far as the builds are concerned, as we start this game, they're not too brave, they're not too unique yet. Okay, I'm speaking too soon. We already see a third scout being produced by Larks. This is getting brave and unique real quick. Sneaky Commander Knob sneaking around. It's about right, isn't it? Oh, these shooter boys seem to be very fond of one another. You know, cradled up like homosexuals. Commando Knob is forcing melee on the Tactical Marines here, doing a great job. One thing to note is that the Commando Knob does approximately similar damage to the Apothecary in melee. Yeah, that's right, even when he's got that Snaz gun, which does the same damage as the Tech Marine, with 100% fire on the move, he still is doing the same damage as the Apothecary in melee. Eat that, fucking Space Marines. But the Force Commander overextends itself there, and really the Tactical Marines should just backed off. There was no point trying to run forward. The Tactical Marines, unlike the Commando Knob, only do 50% of their damage on the move, due to reduced accuracy. And we see Devastators coming out. We see the benefit of the triple scouts actually here. They're really dominating the map control so far. Now that most of Lark's army is forced off, of course, Mitch is able to control most of the center of the map. And the downside of the triple scout play, at least for now, while there's no upgrades, is that their DPS potential is rather pitiful. And no doubt the Commando Knob's going to come over to these scouts and quickly get rid of one of the models. This fellow, well, both of them fellas look a bit dubious to me. If we keep shooting him, this fella might go down. He's a very lucky man. Force Commander's coming out of base with not a lot of health. Sluggers have managed to just about catch the scouts over here due to their melee charge, but scouts are one of the few ranged units that gets melee resist. In fact, every single Space Marine unit, infantry unit that is, gets melee resist, except for ranged variants of Terminators. That's an interesting Dow2 factoid for you, isn't it? Larks is sending a lot of his units out of the base with not full health. I'm not really sure about this Tactical Marine play. I mean, I suppose so long as they're in green cover, they're generally safe from the shooters so far. We're not seeing any big shooters yet, and now that they've got the Devastators behind them, there is absolutely no way that the melee can approach. So with that little surprise Devastator in the back, you never want a surprise Devastator in the back, that's most of Mitch's army forced off. And the Tactical Marines, well, it paid off apparently because they've not lost a model, and now they can use that plus 50% capping speed to get some more map control. And looking at the map, it is very dominant for Larks. Already we see the VPs are extremely dominant for Larks. Already at 100 VP lead. Quickly ticking down. I mean, Mitch needs to capture his natural VP if nothing else, because the VP lead at the moment is becoming very frightening, and we all know that as the Space Marines getting to the late game, it just becomes more and more difficult to beat them as they start dropping down that classic Terminator-Predator combination. Oh, good timing on the Commando Knob there. Ran in just about half a second, maybe even less, before the Devastator actually was set up. And now that they've got the Vengeance rounds, it doesn't take much more than half a second to wipe out the Commando Knob at that range. But that was perfect time, and he got the engagement down. Dodging the Battlecry with the Sluggers, and then gets around that Force Commander to get into those Tactical Marines. If he's lucky, he'll get a model here. But not quite. It doesn't matter, though. The attacks are going to be in base healing for a long time. Painboy has managed to tie up this Scout squad. Sluggers are on the other one. And the Commando Knob's on the third one. That's all the scouts quickly and promptly dealt with. And with that, Mitch is moving on to get a nice gem bash. But the Devastator's there, and Mitch didn't actually get that loot that I saw him queue up at one point, nor has he got any Storm Boys. So these Devastators, for the remainder of Tier 1, are going to prove problematic, but as you can see, he does have the tech lead. That said, he's made a very brave player here, hasn't he? He's not even took his natural VP, so the VP pressure has just been tumbling down the whole time. He's now nearly down to the 250 VP mark. That's halfway to losing the game in VPs. That's obviously a calculated decision. He's prioritizing the resources. He's going in pretty hard for the fast tech play. And if we look at the resources at the moment, Larks is not even... he's nowhere near starting his tier 2 tech. However, there is a key timing window where you can get the gem bash off on your opponent whilst they're teching to the next tier, and if you do, especially with regards to tier 1 and tier 2, you put yourself in a perfect position because they hit tier 2, maybe they've stockpiled enough power, like you can see in this case Mitch has got 70 power, they might be able to get one vehicle out, but as soon as you deal that vehicle, you know he can't get anything else because you bashed his power. However, will it happen in this instance? I mean, it doesn't look like there's too much to stop him. Mitch hasn't even upgraded his damn shooter boys. That said, the Painboy's coming in for a flank here, though he doesn't have enough energy for the heal, so this is actually quite a risky play. A cheeky retreat grenade there might have been the end of that Painboy. Wow, the Devastator seems to be focusing the generators and not the shooter boys. But now... yeah, there's still two Devastator models, they're just going to suppress this blob, and now the Flamer's here. This gem farm is at serious risk, but to stop that is the Death Dread. He'll make easy work of everything the Space Marine has got on the field now. The Force Commander will take a long time to kill with the melee attacks, but the Force Commander can't do anything in return. So all Mitch needs to do is charge straight past that Force Commander, ignore him, he's not a priority. Make sure those bloody attack flamers don't bash his gens, get the burners and bits for the Death Dread, and move over to Larks generator farm and burn it all down in an instant. That can be the start of this comeback. But Larks is aware of it. He can't deal with the Death Dread right now, so what can he do with all these units he's got? He's splitting up all over the map. He's taking the VPs with his triple scout play. He's getting shotguns as well, which is... man, he's gone for such a heavy tier 1. But I suppose you know that come tier 2, you're dealing with a Painboy. That Painboy's going to get his better git source, and he's going to be throwing out more heals than ever before. The Slugger Boys are going to get their knob, and they're going to be so much more fearsome. Anyone who plays this game knows how fearsome the Slugger Boys are come tier 2 when they get the knob. Not only is the knob himself pretty much as strong as an upgraded tier 1 hero, but he also buffs the health of every single boy in his squad. So it's a massive boost. So getting those shotguns will help. He only managed to get one gem with his sneaky play here, and unfortunately the Slugger Boys managed to catch up to these tactical marines, but with the scouts moving in with shotguns, these Slugger Boys need to get out of there immediately. I think he might be going for a retreat grenade attempt here. Let's see if he can get it. Now, he gets a couple of models, better than nothing I suppose, and he's going to finish off the bash here, but the Death Dread has done its work with its burners and bits. Larks' gen farm is no more. So he's got no generators right now. Scouts and shooters are exchanging fire here. Manages to kill a few shooter boys, but 2 scouts, that's 70, 3 shooter boys, that's like around 80, so it's not too much of a difference in economic trading here. Once again, the hero and sub-commander of the Orcs is tying up those scouts with no problem. Scouts obviously more of a supportive unit, not very good at 1v1 fights. The stun bomb's going to come in here, that's actually a nice little stun bomb. And the Death Dread's just going to launch that Power Fist Force Commander away like he's nothing. The Death Dread does get melee resist in spite of being one of the cheaper walkers in this game, so I don't think you want to be fighting it just on its own. And unfortunately, because those Devastators decided to go for the Vengeance rounds, as we see here in Tier 1, it means that he can no longer upgrade them to a las cannon, so he needs to get his AV from somewhere else, but the problem is, SMAV is very power intensive, and he's already lost all of his gen farm. So where is he going to get that power? I think at this point, you want to split your gens between this farm and this farm. That way, if the Death Dread does manage to go for a big push with the Orc army and most of your army is lost, the Death Dread can't bash, 100% of your power because it can't be in 2 places at once. So that's probably a safer option than banking on a single farm at this point, but he definitely needs generators because if he doesn't get generators, he's not going to have AV. I shall say the map control from Larks has been absolutely brutal. That was a fully matured wreck point there that Mitch is only just catching now, and it's quite clearly his natural one. Combination of the Force Commander and the Scouts are easily going to force off this shooter boy. The Force Commander can do that on his own. And as you can see, the Vengeance rounds just aren't going to be enough to a Death Dread, especially when it uses its ability to run even faster, get straight in, instantly that's a dead Devastator. Pain Boy's over here being a bit of a nuisance. I think Pain Boy will quite easily defeat these Tactical Marines if he does decide to melee them rather than... Oh, he might go down. I don't think Mitch is paying much attention because he's too busy checking his shooter boys down here. Oh, okay, we're going to see a shotgun blast. Pain Boy is painfully low. Do you like what I did there? Painfully low, and the Death Dread is finishing off the bash. There's a lot going on in this game, despite what I was saying early on. For relatively newer players, this is very impressive. Lots of action on all different parts of the screen. This is what I like to see. These guys have not been playing that long compared to some of us, certainly compared to me with my 5,000 plus hours in the game. This is nice, man. This is nice. Commando Nob doing a lot of work in his default loadout. I think I would appreciate seeing a few more war gears at this point. His Snaz gun is certainly fantastic. I don't think you need to swap out his weapon. Against Space Marines, it's far better to just keep that Snaz gun and bleed those scout models. You don't really need the shotgun. Wow, those scouts got very lucky, only getting out of there fully upgraded with 6 HP. These guys might not even get out if he shoots the one at the front. Oh, he stopped chasing. We should get one more model. Come on, Commando Nob, you need to reload. He got out with 1 HP. Jesus Christ. Okay, that was really unlucky for Mitch. Unfortunately, Mitch is feeling the pressure here with so many things going on, and we now finally see the Missile Tactical Marines. And they have a buff here. Is that... Oh, it's Kraken rounds. I was going to say, it's not for the Emperor, and Battlecry hasn't been used, so that won't actually be giving them any extra damage, but one more missile and this Death Dread's dead. It's going to die anyway from the Force Commander. Okay, that's the end of the Death Dread, but Mitch has secured 2 VPs, or at least will do shortly. Our Devastators for some reason have set up on facing this way, perhaps expecting a flank from the Commando Nob, but the problem is now the Pain Boy's got in to tie them up. But the Force Commander is just catapulting shooter boys halfway across the map, killing them in every single swing with that Power Fist, really putting a dent in the requisition income of Mitch. But if we look at the requisition of Mitch, he certainly is not lacking it. I'm very surprised we don't see the Slugger Nob. It's such a powerful upgrade. This would be so helpful right now. If he had the Slugger Nob and used Swamp them to get the extra speed and the damage resistance against ranged attacks, honestly, he could quite easily have forced off all 3 of those squads. But the VP pressure is still on. Still on. So even though Mitch he's got ahead and Larks hasn't managed to replace all of his generators, Mitch doesn't have a lot of time to work with here. He's under 100 VPs already, and it's just going down so fast. He doesn't have the units at the moment. Whilst he does have 4 units to Larks 5, the problem is that Scouts are pretty much as strong as his squads at the moment because of the lack of upgrades that he's got on them. The Scouts are speed 6.5, so it's really hard to compete with them in the map control. And with regards to the Tactical Marines, while they're not very good against other infantry squads when they've only got the missile launcher and no sergeant and no stern guard upgrade, they do cap 50% faster, so competing in the map control is going to be very difficult. But we actually see the Commando's Commando Drop global being used here. We also see a combination of 2 shotgun blasts, which is pretty cool. Commandos are such a powerful unit. They're one of the best units that the Orcs have, just overall in the entire meta, not even just considering their late game fighting potential. Doing better damage at range than shooter boys with all of their upgrades, able to upgrade to a Commando Nob leader who does the equivalent of 3 tank busters with his own rocket, having smoke grenades capping 50% quicker, having burner bombs and an AoE knockback ability, and to top it all off, their detectors, oh wait, I forgot to mention they can also infiltrate, and they cap 50% quicker. Did I mention that? I think I did. Did I mention that they have the same melee damage as Slugger Boys? They're ridiculous! They're such a good unit! They do everything, quite literally. They are the true commandos in the Orc army. They're really good. And now we see Nobs being combined with it, so you've got pretty much the best ranged units, and the best melee units. This is going to be very difficult. Something to note, of course, is that the Orcs do get access to flash kits, and flash kits they're a bit more niche than the commandos. They've got more range, and to that extent they'll be excellent for bursting down the scouts from distance. They don't do any AV though, but the key thing with the flash kits in this matchup is they can easily upgrade to the blasters, which gives them a nice psychic PvP damage burst weapon, which is very effective against heavy armor. And not only heavy armor, but also any super heavy infantry armor as well. So if Larks does manage to get to tier 3, that could be a very powerful option to get in addition to the commandos and the knobs. So clearly we've arrived in a position here where the Orc has the superior units, but the Orc is greatly lacking in VPs. So this seems like it's going to start to swing back in the favour of Mitch, as he really utilises the power of these tier 3 units. And to be completely honest, heavy bolter devastators, missile attacks, and some scouts, they ain't gonna do nothing against knobs and commandos. They just don't have a chance. As I say, the commandos could just go into melee right now and beat up these tactical marines, to put it bluntly. Maybe not with 4 models since they finished that cap, but it's not an easy fight for them. Force Commander's been putting in work. What's he got? He's got the Artificer, which gives him some pretty decent HP regen, and also increases his maximum HP. So this is the standard upgrade that you go for if you just want to make your Force Commander a little bit more tanky, without completely changing his loadout by getting tier 3 and getting that Terminator armor upgrade. We don't actually see any upgrades on the Knob squad yet, although we do see the Knob leader himself coming in. Compared to the other knobs, he does, as far as I'm aware, pretty similar damage, but he does have a lot more health. And there's already a shitload of health on the Knob squad. 3,000 with just 5 models. So as you can see, he has 1,150 as the Knob leader on the Knob squad. That was the worst timing on an assault cannon I've ever seen in my life. He literally was approaching a Knob squad, and then he gets the assault cannon, so he loses his ability to stun them in an AoE when they get too close. And not only that, but he also loses the melee resistance. So now that Dreadnought's taking 40% more damage from the assault cannon, I do not think that was a very good idea at all. In fact, I feel like that's probably going to be the deciding factor. If he kept it in melee, he'd actually be able to combat those knobs quite well, because there's no AV on the field yet. Though, of course, the Commando knob himself and the Commando squad can get access to rocket launchers by getting the leader for the Commandos, and it's a tier 3 weapon for the Commando knob. Though that weapon does cost 50 power, and looking at the gen farm, Mitch is actually not that high in power. I think he should spend some of his requisition to get a few more generators, because he's not going to be able to get many more tier 3 units or upgrades if he doesn't. That said, I think he realises he doesn't have a lot of time to be investing in his economy at the moment, because there's just not VPs. Why invest in your economy if you're only going to lose in a few more minutes if you don't actually win fights? So I guess he feels he very much needs to get the units and the upgrades immediately and not invest in his economy. But this is a tough situation to be in. Oh, is that a second squad? Okay, he's dropped in a second squad of commandos. The unique thing about the commando drop is that you don't have to pay any power for it, so it gets them in without wasting any of that valuable power that he has so little of at the moment. While the Force Commander can easily solo down these commandos on his own, he has no chance against the melee superiority of a knob squad. And we actually see the Tactical Marines deciding to swap out from their missile launcher and go for the Stern Guard upgrade, which is an interesting choice this late on the game. I guess he realises that the missile squad is relatively useless given that there are no vehicles, and Mitch doesn't seem to have any inclination to get any vehicles, with him now having fielded 3 squads of elite or tier 3 infantry. So the Stern Guard will definitely do better than the Missile Tactical Marines, and probably Plasma Attacks as well, against the large amounts of light infantry that the Orcs field. Though I don't see any dedicated counters to the Knob squad yet, and this is what's concerning me. Though he is putting great pressure into the VPs, the Commandos can't be everywhere, and as soon as they've moved away from this southeastern VP, the Scouts are straight back in there to decap it and probably cap it. In fact, this might be a dead Commando. No, he's too scared of the knobs coming in, and now there is a rocket launcher on this Commando squad. That's very worrying. I really don't like this assault cannon purchase. I also think at this point he needs to just suck it up and get the Thunderhammer. Clearly there's a bunch of elite infantry on the field and not really any vehicles, and knowing that Mitch has not really had any power for so long now, I don't think vehicles should be something that Larks is concerned about. We only see Mina and Greener coming up now for the Nob Squad. Normally that would be the first purchase you'd get for them, granting them access to the very powerful Frenzy ability. An ability of much contention is that Frenzy, one that's been nerfed many times over the period of the Elite mod, and currently nowhere near as strong as it has been known to be in history. At the moment it just gives 75% damage resistance rather than the full damage immunity, but it also breaks suppression. But remember, it costs 75 red to use it. Slugger Boys might be going down here, it's not too big of a loss either way, they're still completely unupgraded. Looks like the shooters are going to go down. Man, those Devastators just did a ton of damage with those Vengeance rounds, but of course, if you've got the Vengeance rounds activated, then you are not going to suppress the Nobs. So they did close in and force the devs off. The Commandos have gone round here and got the sneak back cap. The Commandos have gone round here, killed the scouts that were opposing them, and got the back cap there. So we only see 2 scout squads. And man, this is, I don't know about this move. Sending these scouts to go deal with the Commandos is probably not a great idea. As you can see, Commandos damage is massive, even with the Sergeant upgrade and the scouts being level 2. They are getting shredded by those shooters. See, Librarian, that's a really interesting choice this late in the game. I think he needs to acknowledge that he has a lot of VPs, does Larks, and play this game out in the long run. Getting a nice Assault Terminator squad with the Lightning Claws and combining it with the constant knockback of a Thunderhammer Force Commander and all those damage buffs that he procs with every single special could be extremely powerful. But I guess he's just feeling the pressure now. He was so close to beating Mitch. Mitch is only on 18 VPs at the moment and he has 267. That's massive. He probably feels very pressured to just get as many units as possible to keep the pressure on Mitch and just get those caps. He doesn't necessarily need to win the fights, so long as he can delay Mitch from stopping him from capping, he can take the game. But it's going to be hard. Mitch is wise to it. He knows he has to defend these points. He's got the Commandos here. They use their Burner Bomb into their Love the Dagger and knock those Tactical Marines on their fat heavy infantry asses. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. That said, with a Commando Nob, I'm not actually sure how much he does in melee. Let's see who wins this melee fight. This is going to be pretty close. Oh, Commando Nobs. Oh, the Commando Nob just about does it. Wow, yeah, they do it. That is the power of Commando melee coming in here. What's happening over here? The Commando Nob seems to have forced off the scouts. The Stern Guard were already running because the Nobs must have caught them. So he's managed to get the 2 points over there as Mitch, but the combination of the scouts and the Force Commander gets rid of the Southeastern Commando squad. And it seems the Shooter Boys went down at some point. These Slugger Boys are quite... well, there's only... it's not Slugger Boys anymore, it's Slugger Boy. This is a nice setup here, baiting the Nobs to charge the Dreadnought, only to lure them into the Devastators, which in turn activate the Vengeance rounds because they just want to do more damage, knowing that they can't suppress the Nobs anyway because they're using Frenzy. But Frenzy just used 75 of Mitch's red. And it's on cooldown now. Stone Guard need to swap to the Kraken rounds to do maximum damage to the heavy infantry of the Nob squad. Speaking of red, look at this. 844 red for Larks. That's quite a lot of red. I think he can start spamming for the Emperor pretty much every time he wants to throw a retreat grenade now. Or, of course, go tier 3. Get your Assault Terminators. You've got the VPs to work with, man. Looks like he's finally going to get 2 VPs again, is Larks. Not really anything. There's literally nothing. No Orc unit on the field at the moment. However, Mitch has replaced his generators, but he finds himself starved of requisition. He doesn't even reinforce these Slugger Boys. I don't know whether he's forgot about them or what he's doing here. I'd at least get another 2 boys and then just send them out to cap. It's obviously too risky, we've won. But having just 1 model in the base is pointless, it's just additional upkeep. He is moving them out though now. On his own, just the lone Slugger Boy. Maybe he's going to be the hero of the game, getting cheeky decaps. We shall see. Tactical Marines in cover, not giving too much of a damn. Commandos are going to use that smoke bomb because Mitch is really low on VPs. Oh my god, this is actually really dangerous. He needs this cap. Fortunately, no domino knockback on these Commandos, so they do get the decap and this keeps him in the game. He's got 6 VPs left. Commando Nob is on the back lines, handily dealing with those scouts. Oh, this is a brutal assault barrage. Fortunately, these Orcs are just too damn tough. These are all elite. You're talking Commandos and Nobs. They don't care about an assault barrage like Shooter Boys or Slugger Boys do. tactical marines are going in for that cap. If he can just get the cap, he's going to win the game. If there's no decap to stop it, that's going to be the end of it. He needs to have something to knock them off the cap right now. Love the Daka, come on, love the Daka. We love the Daka. But he didn't stop the cap. I think that's going to be the game. He's not got anything decapping. The knobs aren't going to do it fast enough. That's it, that's the game. Oh man. That's so unfortunate. He has clearly had the superior army, and he got that fast tech, but I guess Larks didn't need the tier 3. Who needs Terminators? He did get the Thunder Hammer though in the end, that's something to note. Kudos to Larks doing that, that was definitely a good choice. Controlled the Orc infantry a little bit better, but yeah, he's seen the game out just through the back caps, and that's the power of going for the triple scouts. Not something I would ever recommend against an Orc, because if the Orc gets lots of firepower, he's just going to shoot them down. I mean, one shooter boy squad in tier 1 with big shooters and the knobs, they're going to easily beat 2 scouts if they've got upgrades. If the scouts don't have upgrades, they'll probably beat 3 or 4. Like, that's not a very even fight. Still, Mitch went for quite a high risk play here, going quite short on his tier 1, at least compared to Larks, and going very short on his tier 2. I think not seeing any slugger knobs for his slugger boys, that definitely didn't help. There were quite a few key engagements in the mid game where if he had a slugger knob in that squad, I feel like he would have completely won the engagement and he would have turned everything around. And of course, if you win an engagement, that all snowballs. You start to get more map control, you start to get a better economy, maybe you'd have got to tier 3 sooner, maybe you'd have been able to bash Larks, and that would prevent him from getting the AV to counter his Death Dread. That missile attack took a long time to come out because the Death Dread got that gem bash, and maybe if you got that slugger knob, if you got some upgrades in tier 2, maybe the grappling hook to put a bit more pressure on with the commando knob, maybe getting the kaboom as well to do a good damage to the devastators or retreating scout squads. Maybe that could have been what he needed to prevent Larks from ever being able to get that comeback. But the map pressure was too much. That's only something that you can deal with better micro over time. Nonetheless, it was a very good game, and I'm impressed by the level of skill displayed here. It was genuinely quite impressive. The commando knob put in so much work, level 4 the commando knob, and that was just with a default loadout. He was killing scouts all game. Even in tier 1, I was struggling to keep up with what was going on here in the battle, and this is only a goddamn 1v1. But that's the beauty of 1v1, isn't it? We had isolated battles on 4 different parts of the maps, even in tier 1 and mid tier 2. That's what we like to see in Dawn of War 2, and that's what keeps the game interesting. So I enjoyed that replay, and I hope you guys did as well. We'll have plenty more of these coming, you know the drill now. It's going to be on a weekly basis. We do it Thursday around 10 PM UTC. You wake up Friday morning, there's going to be a Dawn of War 2 cast there for you. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's going to be the end for this one. I hope you have a great day. Torpid out.